What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Hey, you got your gas. You good, right?
Yo, I got my guys. Yo, I only spent about $15. That was it.
My man.
I,
My
I'm
man.
I'm happy. It was a line. That was the thing. It was a line of cars just waiting. So I'm like, geez. It just felt like
I don't want to brag, but Ohio is at like 99 cents, $1.09 at the most, maybe. You know.
I,
I'm just saying.
I mean, the thing is, we got to step it up. Like I said earlier, we got to step it up over here with the gas price because that's ridiculous. Like the gas station looked like what is it? That Stephen King movie? What is it? Overdrive.
Oh my God, Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. I love that movie. That's one of my guilty pleasures. And it's just like that scene where they're all getting gas, all the cars just waiting. That's what it looked like at the gas station right now. That's what it looked like.
I'm not gonna lie, because of that movie, every time I'm at a vending machine and I'm getting a pop, I'm thinking of things like a popsicle's gonna shoot out and just hit me in the head.
Right in the head. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I just gotta say thank you so much for coming through, doing the show for me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It was a new format I wanted to do to get, everybody's at home and, just want to talk to everybody, see what everybody's doing, get all my favorite cosplayers out, see what's up with them. I just had to do it. It just, something told me, and then I, send out the message to everyone. And, luckily, you guys, came through. It was a shot in the dark. I didn't even know it was going to happen in that so quickly,
Ain't nobody doing nothing. We just sitting here twiddling our thumbs. So, yeah, now's the best time to do it.
Yeah, I guess so. I love to do Johny Bravo. That came out of nowhere. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anyone saw that coming. I don't think anybody saw it. Like, you have a gift for surprising everyone with your cosplays because it's one of those things that nobody thinks of right away. Like even the Lion King one, that was tossed around. I've seen it for quite a couple of weeks or something like that.
I saw the fan art. I saw someone had posted fan art, and I was like, man, that's pretty slick. And so I started thinking, I'm like, I got that stuff in my closet. I could just do that, do the makeup real quick. So I just threw it together, and so I sent it to the original artist who drew the artwork. He loved it, and I was like, oh man, all right, got that approval. So
yeah, because you did really good at it. It was really good, and I'm like, but once again, it was like no one saw it come. I didn't like. That's one of those things like you see on the art side of things, but to actually bring it to life, and you did it really well. So
thank you.
I mean, then again, your game is your game is tight, bro. Your game is tight. So I mean, the art, just the whole painting and the airbrushing, like I wish I was that talented.
Dude, it's practice. Honestly, it is 95% practice. Like with makeup and anything else, I always tell people, like, even if it's something you're not planning on doing, practice it every single day. You know what I mean? Like, do some makeup every day. Make a little, like, something out of foam every day. Make something out of just practice. So, and also it has to do with not giving a crap about trying new things and what it's going to look like. Like, I hate work in progress photos because I know at the end it's going to look totally different. So it's about putting yourself out there and just doing it.
Now, one of the things I like to know with everyone is, like, how long have you been cosplaying, and what got you into it? Like, what sparked that interest to, like, from being a fan of the culture to, like, I'm going to be a part of it,
Right.
Like, how did you?
Well, for me, actually, I never even knew. I didn't know what cosplaying or anything or before any of this world. I didn't know anything about it. I always loved Halloween. So I think that 95% of cosplayers, they kind of started with Halloween.
Yeah.
So in 2011, I wanted to for Halloween, I wanted to be a Green Lantern.
Right.
That year, I wanted to be Guy Gardner. That was my favorite Green Lantern. I know, don't laugh.
You know what? People sleep on Guy Gardner. People sleep on Guy Gardner for real. They really do.
Here's the thing. I like Guy when he had the yellow ribbon.
Okay. All right. I mean, but he's underrated. People don't. Everybody think of Hal and everyone else, and it's like he just leads to the wayside. Really, I'm like, there is another Earthling, that has the power too. Yeah.
But that wasn't he wasn't a popular character, so that wasn't a costume you could find in like Spirit Halloween.
Right.
So I had to try to put it together. So I went to Johny Fabrics, got some green fabric, went to Dick's Sporting Goods, got some Under Armour, very crudely sewed it together, and went out to the bars, had fun. That was all great. Right. Halloween. Well, a buddy of mine was doing a Relay for Life event, a cancer walk, and he said, "Hey, you got this superhero costume. Can you come and just kind of mingle?" And I'm like, "All right, cool. That sounds like fun." So I did that, and from that, I got asked to do another charity event, and then another kind of snowballed. So from 2011 to like all of 2012, that's all I was doing was charity events.
Okay.
And so in the middle of 2012, I'm like, I'm doing a lot of these. Maybe I should have other costumes. So I decided to buy a Spider-Man costume. I ended up making a Batman costume and Captain America. And then once I got onto Facebook, people started seeing the costumes and like, "Hey, have you ever been to a convention? What conventions do you go to?" Like, I've never been to one. Like, I knew of conventions, but I just never had time. So at the end of 2012, I went to the Cincinnati Comic Expo, and that was my first convention I ever went to. And I ended up wearing Batman. And as soon as I walked on the floor, man, it was like my eyes were open. Like I felt at home.
Right.
I was like, yes, I'm with the people. This is amazing. So ever since end of 2012, I just kind of dove headfirst into the conventions. In 2013, I started guesting at conventions, but then I always wanted to try and keep the charity aspect at the forefront.
Okay, right.
Got me into it. So it got to a point where, I'm doing as many conventions as I could, but it's I have an opportunity to go to California for this convention, but I have a charity event the same weekend. And it's how do I choose, man? That's difficult. So I'm like, well, why can't I try and do both? Why can't I experience and do the convention, but then maybe try and raise money and support the charity? So that's when I started thinking, all right, well, everything I do cosplay-wise should go back to something. So that's why all of my prints and everything, goes back to different charities. Everything I raise online goes back to different charities, and I try and pick a local charity to wherever I'm at or anything like that. So it's right now. It's honestly always been a 50-50 thing. It's 50% just the art and creating and family of conventions, but then it's the other half of being able to give back through it.
That's really great of you to do. You don't hear a lot of people do that, and you think to be so selfless and you kill two birds with one stone, but you can tell you love what you do, but it's even better because you love what you do, but you also, giving back at the same time. There's a reason even more behind it. It's the motivation behind it, and that's
a win-win.
Yeah, easily.
It's absolutely a win-win, man. I travel the world and get to meet amazing people. I have my day job in law enforcement, so that's my career. That's my day job.
Right.
So I look at it as that's what pays the bills. This is my hobby. This is my fun. This is my passion. Let me have that go to something more than something more. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a win-win. I get to have fun and stuff, so and be able to give back, and yeah.
So I thought you did it like I thought you've been doing it longer because like kind of been we basically started doing it at the same time frame. You know, I started around 2011 to 2012 and stuff. And same thing, Halloween. You know, started with like a simple Thor costume, and then just snowball into going to more conventions and just start doing more. That you know, like, hey, take a picture with the Black Thor because he actually has long hair and a beard. So, you know, I didn't know that. I thought, you know, that's great that I know that because I thought you've been doing it way longer than that because it's just your skill level was just so great. And it's like to fall into it like you did and to do what you're doing right now is, you know, very admirable to the whole thing too. It's like you actually make me want to do the same thing. You know, you want, you know, to think outside the box, if, you know, of the whole cosplay. And you know, I hope more do that too as well.
I have noticed an influx of I'm not, you know, I'm not saying it's because of me, but I have noticed the influx of people doing more charity work, raising money for different charities, or even just doing like hands-on stuff, going to children's hospitals and stuff like that. Since I've started, I have noticed a huge influx of people doing that, and I don't know. I think that's amazing, especially even now, like, you know, with everything with the stay-at-home orders and stuff throughout the states. Even people just dressing up in costume and reading and putting on YouTube for kids that are just little stuff like that. It goes a long way.
It does. It really does. And because you know, right now we're in a situation where, you know, this is the con season right now. This is where everybody started getting their things together. But a lot of things are being canceled or rescheduled. So, I mean, it's putting a damper on things. But I look at it on a positive note. It gives me, you know, and a lot of other people more time to work on their thing, on their suits and costumes. You know, to help. You know, usually, you know, you know that struggle of you got a convention to do like next week, and you're only like 50% done or maybe 20% done. Now you kind of have an extension to the whole thing, and you know, you got to think on the positive note. That's what I've been doing with the whole thing.
There's definitely a silver lining. There's a silver lining to everything. And that's one of them that you just said is like it gives people, they don't have to do the con coach. You know, they can actually plan stuff out. And I honestly feel that 2020 is a wrap. Like, there's not going to be any. There's not going to be any convention. Nothing's happening in 2020.
Yeah.
So let's.
They just relocated. They just rescheduled Power Morphicon, which was going to be my official first year going after all these years that I haven't been able to. And I was going to get to go, and now this whole thing happened. They rescheduled it to next June, and I was like, you know what? That gives me more time to get more suits and more helmets and stuff going.
Right.
You know, it's like you said, a silver lining. Now, what do your like going, you know, working and, you know, you working for the police station, you know, law enforcement. How do you manage the time? Because I asked Eric the other day, you know, that because I asked this, how do you manage the time between your real life and, you know, and building cosplay? Because I'm just noticing you guys just do so much over, you know, so many different ones, like in a matter of time. And I'm like, geez, how do you manage the real life? It's like, what is it? The Twisted Metal. The Twisted Metal one. That's one of my personal favorite games, you know, especially Twisted Metal 2. To see you do that, I was like, this guy, how does he find the time?
You make it. It honestly, that was one of the hardest things, was trying to figure out how to divide, you know, my personal time versus my work time versus trying to build, and, you know, that was one of the hardest things. But once you find your stride, and you find what works for you, you just, I don't know, it just kind of works. So pretty much like, if I was to go through a whole month, This is my month. I work 5 days a week.
Right.
I wake up. My normal shift is 2 to 10, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I wake up at 8, 9 o'clock. I get to the gym at 10:30, 11. I work out till 1 o'clock.
Right.
I'm at work from 2 to 10. I go home and sleep. On the weekends,
right,
that's when I build. So I'm off Friday and Saturday. That's when I build. And that's why you see me 1 day, 2 days, 100% complete, is because I don't have a lot of time.
Right.
I have to get it done. So I'm forced to, wake up at 8 in the morning. I'm working on it, all day long, and then, trying to get it done. When I'm doing conventions, kind of the same thing. So if I'm not working at home doing a costume, I'm at a convention. If I'm not at a convention, I'm at a charity event. So I'm always busy. I'm always on the go. But to me, it's fun, so it's not stressful. You know what I mean? At first, it was kind of oh man, I feel stressed. But now I feel that's my me time. It's like being at the gym. It's I don't know. I feel stressless.
now, being that you are law enforcement, now, how are you handling not just as an individual, but also in law enforcement? Because that's something a lot of people don't know. How is that being, in uniform and have to deal with what we have right now, the crisis? How do you, get with it? How do you handle it?
It's different. It's it's different because it's affecting so many different aspects. So, our courts. I know it's like this around the nation, but specifically here in Youngstown, our courts are working pretty much 1 day a week.
Yeah.
So, people who are getting arrested for theft and minor drug charges and stuff like that, they're kind of just getting a summons to go to court, except for there's no really court date. It's kind of you got to call the court to schedule your court date.
Wow.
So it's kind of odd, the only thing that we're really kind of honing in on and taking care of are violent felons and violent misdemeanors and stuff. So that's why you go up here. There's an influx in domestic violence.
Right. Yeah.
It's because people are at home and people are stressed out. And when you get your family together.
Yeah. I would guess. I would think that will be at a high point right now, because especially with 2-3 months now, I guess we've been going through this. It's just seemed like the days merging. So that cabin fever will get to people after a while.
Absolutely. But no, it's been different. It's been different. But I mean, I guess it's for me. I guess it's the same stuff, but it's just handling it a little bit differently. I definitely do notice. I'm a little bit more cautious, especially wearing masks and stuff like that, being a little bit more distant with people. Like me, when I talk to people, I'm very close. I'm a very hands-on type person, you know what I mean? Very personable. But I have to kind of check myself and be a little bit more distant and that type of stuff.
I understand.
Other than that, the same.
Yeah. You definitely are you're right about that, because I think that when I first met you at Terrificon, you were the highlight of the whole thing for me, because I got to meet you. My first was who is that? I'm like, you don't know who that is? You don't know? You don't know? That's not. You don't know.
Learn today.
Exactly. And I mean, I was excited to see you more than the celebrities that were there, because I watched your work for so long, and it was man, he's actually here, so to actually get to meet you and to chat with you was really was impactful for me, because it just showed me, whenever I do things later, in the same place, to how to be, even more. It was real genuine situation, and I felt it and everything. And I've met other cosplayers. Some are okay, some not so much. It depends on how they're feeling. You never know, hot, cold.
Yeah.
But you know, but being like the ones that I've always wanted to meet, you know, because I have it's like the five, you know, the top five, like Justice League, you know, of who I've always wanted to like chat with and just, you know, talk to and just pick their brains. It's you, Eric, Rand, Raymond Ramos. I met him a couple of times, but it was always in passing. Like I'm always leaving. Every time. Ivy Doom Kitty, but I got to meet her. It was kind of like leaving again, you know, and I just happened to see her. Like,
I literally just did I was just on a panel last night with Ivy.
Right.
Ivy's amazing. Yeah.
Because she's another one. Her and Sonny Ireland. I can't never get her last name right. Yeah. Sony. I met her and she was really great. I met her at TorefCon a couple years ago before. But, you know, getting to meet you guys, and it's always a good experience, you know, and so far it's always been great. And, you know, I've learned over the years just from talking to you guys over the, you know, this time frame is like, you know, I want to be like them even more, you know. You know, and every time I talk to people about cosplay, even when at the workplace and whatnot, I always have to show one of y'all's pictures and stuff. Like, this is what I'm talking about, cosplay. You know, this is this, you know. Like, this is how awesome they do. You know, this is what it could be. It was always that, you know, and I always, you know, I thank y'all because, you know, especially y'all motivate me and motivate a couple others, you know, so many others, you know, to keep going and to just try new things. Yeah. And like when I told a couple of friends already that art cosplayers, you know, that I was going to be talking to you, and they were like, really? You know, they were excited, you know, to hear that. So, I mean, you definitely made an impact, you know, all of you made an impact, but you definitely made your impact too as well, to a lot of others, you know. So,
man, I got to tell you, man, like that means a lot. Every time I hear something like that, it honestly, it really humbles me. I never thought getting into this that I would be hearing that was even a prospect. That was a possible thing. But kind of now seeing like the impact it can have on kids and adults, you know, it's really surreal.
Yeah.
And so that's why I do always want to try and relay to other people getting into this that, like, man, it doesn't matter your numbers. It doesn't matter how many followers or fans you got or anything like that. Someone is always taking notice of you. Like, whether you know it, whether they tell you, whether not, whatever, someone is always watching you. Right. So everything you do, trust me, is impactful. Everything.
Right. Definitely right. Because I didn't know I had like a little base that I have of people that's been following me, and it's like, geez, I've been learning from y'all. And then it's kind of proving out that it's working on that level even for me, and I get wadded out like you know, just like, wow, y'all, me. I'm like, but I've been learning from them. I've been watching them, and I've been just copying what they be doing. You know, just how they approach things, and you know,
right, it's a steady approval, man.
It really is. It really is. This is a hard one, you know, and you know, what would be your favorite?
Oh, Brian, you're not about to ask me my favorite costume is.
Okay. What is the most? Well, everyone's, you know, your favorite. What would be the most, like, the hottest or the most uncomfortable one at a con? You know, that you had to be in, like, because we all had those that were like, okay, I love this suit, I love this, you know, but maybe the shoes are, you know, I gotta change the shoes next time. What? Because you have. You know what? I don't know how you can think.
So, to be honest with you, I like being uncomfortable. I know it sounds weird. I like being uncomfortable.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Like, there's so many that have issues with, like the Spawn with the wings.
Okay.
The wings. The wingspan is 9 foot by 9 foot, so it's not heavy, but it's just awkward to maneuver around in. like RoboCop. RoboCop is just kind of all it's all foam, so foam doesn't breathe, so it does get warm.
Yeah, the
I don't know.
RoboCop has a special place for me. I just got a RoboCop poster because that's one of my favorite movies. So when I saw that you did that, I was like, who else is not doing this? Like, who else?
RoboCop.
Yeah. So like, go on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Even like my most uncomfortable is still comfortable to me.
Right.
I will say there are some that I don't really wear anymore, but for exigent circumstances, like Goliath. I love Goliath.
Dude, I was just thinking about Goliath.
So I love Goliath, but the thing with Goliath is,
right.
All right, so you know how like you might drink your favorite alcoholic drink and you get sick on it, and then ever since you got sick, you can't. Every time you smell it, you're just like, whatever. So the last time I went to Goliath, it was in Philadelphia, and dude, I had the flu.
Oh.
And I was so sick that weekend, but I still, got into makeup and stuff. But every time I think about wearing Goliath,
you think about that flu.
I think about being sick, and I just don't want to wear it. You know what I mean?
I get
it.
I get it.
It's stuff like that, but.
Now, how do you manage to, like, with the wings? Like, because, like, I'm looking at some others, like, Hawkman and, like, Goliath and everything. Like, just the wing aspect, like, moving around, like, how do you, like, manage that? Like, just, I mean, because it'd be tough to get into an elevator.
It is. It's very complicated. The very first wings I did make were the Spawn wing.
Right.
The Angel Spawn. And I screwed up because I just knew I wanted some big wings. I was kind of new. I was just diving headfirst into it. So I'm like, man, I want these big wings. I want feathers, real feathers. So I ordered like 500 feathers, right?
Wow.
So I started making the wings, and I realized that I made the wings way too big. So by the end of it, I ended up with 4,500 feathers on these wings. That's how big the wings are.
Wow.
So I actually have to rent a van to actually transport this costume. So now when I do wings, I learn like make it, so I can break it apart, make them a little bit smaller, use the foam, like real feathers. It's gonna be a lot cheaper, a lot lighter. Like with Goliath, it's fabric,
right?
So it's lighter. It's fabric with like thermoplastic Warbler and Wonderflex, like skeleton. I've used Venetian blinds for wings for like Archangel.
Oh wow! I didn't think about that.
It's making just things a little bit thinking outside the box and making things easier for you.
Right.
But yeah, when I first started, I was just like, just do it. Just don't think about how to transport it. Don't think about this. Don't think about that. That's how you learn.
Wow. I mean, I never thought about Venetian blinds. That's wow. That's something I didn't even think about. Dang. Wow, I never thought about that. That got me right there. I didn't even think about that, Venetian blinds. So, what do I want to say? Jeez, that got me right there with the Venetians.
Really thinking outside the box, man.
I saw that you had, one of the other things I love that you did was Gizmo Duck. Gizmo! I mean, you did such a good job. And it's just like, once again, he did it again. Like, I'm always shocked, but then again, I shouldn't be. Because I feel like you always do something out of the box and something that people will never think about or probably think, oh, that's probably going to be too hard to do or figure out. But you managed to do it. I mean, you even did the what's his name? The Claw from Inspector Gadget. I mean, dude, and then you had your cat positioned the right way. Like, how long did you get your cat to sit there, like, for that long time, for a period? Like,
so it's funny, actually, if you watch, so the pictures I took is with my one cat, But when I did the video, it's with my other cat because the one cat with the pictures was done. She's like, I'm done with this. I'm tired of you.
Yeah,
So
that's.
I had to get the other cat to get in the video.
I mean, because I looked at him like defending. Okay, he did the call, but I was more impressed that you was able to get your cat to stay that long. I could never get my cat to stay that long when I had him. It was like
There's treats. There's
yeah.
some there's little treats on the table.
Now with all those, what's your? Do you have a favorite cartoon growing up? Like, what was the thing that that you had to watch? What was that show?
So I have a thing. I'm old. I'm 40 years old. So I have to say that
black don't crack.
That is so true.
Yeah,
so true. The 80s. I think the 80s was the pinnacle of the best cartoons, the best cereal, the best toys, just the best everything.
Yeah.
Dude, just growing up and watching like Saturday morning cartoons, the 80s, everything, all the cartoons then were great.
Yeah.
Any 80s cartoons, I have a soft spot for. Early 90s, like Freakazoid, Lloyd, and
yeah, did that, yeah.
And that those cartoons are great, but it's the 80s cartoon. If you told me pick one thing that you remember cartoon wise, immediately I'm thinking of either two things: G.I. Joe the movie or Transformers the movie.
Which
like
one
those two, G.I. Joe the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is 80. I want to say 86 or 87.
I think so, yeah.
And then Transformers the movie was 86.
Oh, okay.
But cartoons like define my love for cartoons. Like those that's it, man.
Wow. Like I've seen those, but I still I was thinking the other day, Battle of the Planets movie was my favorite one. When they did theirs, that's still my favorite one. I still got it on my hard drive somewhere. It's still my favorite. And I was talking about Beast Wars yesterday with a friend of mine.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
But I mean, definitely Transformers is just up there. And I was, as a collector, I was thinking I'm collecting the stuff, and I'm like, why haven't I ever really truly what is it? Collect Transformers. Because I mean, I do the Power Ranger stuff and transforming every time, Zords. Why haven't I ever done that? But I feel like it's too late now. I should have started a long time ago.
Ain't never too late.
Because I don't want to start.
Ain't never too late. Do you remember? You got me thinking about toys now. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I couldn't remember the name of them, but it was like an 80s, early 90s toy, but they were like insectahumans. They were humanoids, but they were insects too.
Wait, no, I'm thinking Animorphs. Sorry, that was Animorphs. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Nah, but I can't remember the cartoon, but I remember the toys specifically. Like one toy was he had he was a giant ant, and he could fly. It was a flying ant, and that was like his battle cat, like He-Man. But the guy, he was a humanoid. He was all muscular, but he had insect face, big eyes. The toys were cool as hell.
That is going to bug me for the whole time.
Dude, look it up, man. Because the toys were cool, and like I said, all the insect toys, like the wings, were actually they were like iridescent, like iridescent cloth wings and stuff. The toys were cool as heck.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking right now. Shoot, that's gonna bother me.
Yeah, just like there was like early 90s, late 80s, maybe.
Ooh, that's something. And I keep getting everything else but that. Is it the Sectavoid? What? Oh, wait. No, that's not it. Yeah, I'm gonna really have to look through this. Yeah. Sheesh. This will really get me because I'm gonna have to think about this. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on. Is that? Oh, never mind. It kept giving me links to Masters of the Universe. So
Okay. Yeah, you gotta be careful what you Googling because nowadays you might get some.
yeah,
You might get some stuff. I mean,
you, both things. So many things. You never know. Um, but I was just thinking about when you talk about the '80s. You ever remember the show Cops?
dude, so I did a Bulletproof.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did do one.
I did do Bulletproof. Oh yeah, look up
No.
Secturus. SECTUARS.
SECTURF.
ARS.
Oh, okay.
You remember those toys?
No, you know what? It's funny because I've seen these across when I'm doing my usual, toy hunt on eBay and whatnot. I've seen these come across a few times.
Dude, they're honestly the toys were amazing. Like I said, I can't remember the cartoon too much, but the toys were articulated. They were great.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? Yeah, I've seen these a few times on eBay, just looking through other things, and
Yeah.
I never even knew too much about this show. So that's something. What is it? A lot of
Yeah.
if you ever watch, do you even get the app Tubi? I think it's Tubi. They have a lot of retro shows on there. Retro cartoons too. By the way, yeah, they have quite a few that you should check out. I ended up watching Mummies Alive till I passed out. A couple weeks ago.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no, you were talking about Cops. Yeah, Cops.
Yeah.
Those toys were amazing. The toys for Cops were amazing. That show actually was, I think, it was way ahead of its time.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I think a lot of shows from that time frame, from the '80s, early '90s, are way before its time, and I think no one understood it at that time. But I wish they could bring some of those back, into the forefront now, because I think we're ready. Kids will be ready, but then again, you never, at least the older crowd, they could do some things, with that.
Here's the thing: they would have to bring it back, but the problem now is they would have to change the animation style. Kids nowadays, that type of animation style, they would be really bored with it.
Pretty much how they got the Thundercats show.
Yeah.
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 Because that was fine. I love the 2011 version. I did. I really did.
That was cool.
I loved it. Cool. It was really good. They had some good stories. But when I saw the new one, I was like, oh, we're going this route. All right.
I get. Yeah. I'm never gonna knock something new like that because I get who you're catering to.
Yes,
it's not catering to me. I get it. But I just have to remember it's not for me. It's not for me.
Just one last thing before we go.
Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up? Do you know with the cons and stuff?
Man, ain't no one got nothing coming up. Come on.
Do we have any new cosplays in the works? Any new ideas in the works?
Oh man. So I mean, just today.
Is there a hint you could give?
Here's the thing with me, man. Like, I'll honestly 90% of my cosplay ideas come from me just sitting on the toilet in the morning. Like, dude, listen. I'll wake up, have my coffee. I'll just be sitting on the toilet, just thinking, like, man, that'd be cool enough to do. All right, yeah. And I'll start looking up, pictures and YouTube videos and stuff. 90% of my ideas come from me just sitting on the toilet.
They call it the thinker for a reason,
Literally. So, like, honestly, today, just today, I'm going to do Nightcrawler.
Wow.
I'm going to do Nightcrawler. Literally, I was on the toilet thinking, and I thought about the scene in Dark Phoenix when he went. Did you see Dark Phoenix?
Yeah, I saw it.
All right. Yeah, I'm with you. It was but Nightcrawler was amazing. So, the scene where he went crazy at the end on the train.
It harkened back to the older one.
Yeah.
It reminded me so much. I was like, why can't we get this? I more of this. Definitely. So
it got me. I was thinking about it, and I looked up the clip again. I'm like, dude, yeah, I gotta do Nightcrawler. That's badass. So yeah, so Nightcrawler's on the list. Mumra is on the list.
Ooh.
Mandalorian. I want to do a male Xena.
Oh.
So I'm gonna do a male Xena.
Oh, okay.
So many people say I look like from Stargate.
Yes. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Oh my God, yes. Wow. As soon as you said it, I caught my. You're like, yes. Wow.
I can't think of his name. Oh my God.
Deep cuts. That's deep cuts. Hey.
So yeah, I'm gonna do that just for like kind of fan service. But
you know what?
Yeah,
it's okay.
there's a lot of ideas.
I got Anthony Anderson for so long, so
Oh crap!
See, there you go. See, Anthony, yeah. I still don't get it, but people always, especially when I have my hair in dreads. So when I had dreads, people always say, "You look like Anthony Anderson." I'm like, dang it. Yes, again.
Dude, no, I totally see Anthony Anderson.
It's funny because I was running away from it for so many years, and I'm like, he had the dreads and the scary movies. And then I cut my hair, and I watched Blackish. I'm like, crap. I've got the same hair. Oh man, I'm never getting away from this. But what? I'm just saying we're cousins.
Yeah, embrace it. Embrace it.
I love the guy too. I love Anthony Anderson, but yeah.
The funny thing about Anthony Anderson, I loved him until he was on Law and Order. And then when he was on Law and Order, at first he was such a dick cop. Like, I hated him on Law and Order. But then he kind of turned around and I was like, all right, he's pretty cool too.
See, you gotta give it some time. Let him get into some, let his feet wet a little bit. But going back to it, you're the thinker. It came to me a second ago. You could call it the Al Bundy, because Al Bundy always had to go, but he needed to think. He'd grab his newspaper and go to the bathroom.
That's it, man.
Even his best thinking that's what Al Bundy had to do every time. He had to go do that.
Thinking about Al Bundy, and everyone always kind of we talk about cosplay, and we talk about like these amazing costumes, right. And when you think of cosplay, that's what you think of. You think of these larger than life costumes, right?
Right.
But to me, honestly, when people say like, "What are some of like the favorite cosplays that you've ever seen?" and stuff like that, to me, it's just stuff that makes you smile. I don't care what it is. If it makes you smile, that's what it is. For like one of my favorite costumes I've ever seen,
right? And
it was kind of recent. A guy had did a Bundy for C2E2, and so what he did was it was him, and I guess maybe his girlfriend or friend or whoever dressed as Peggy, and they literally had a couch. They had a legit couch that looked like Al Bundy's couch.
Yeah.
They carried it to the con, and they set it in the lobby, and they just sat in the lobby.
Did she have the bonbons? Did she have the bonbons? She had to have the bonbons. You gotta have it.
Dude, they looked spot on. It was amazing. Amazing. He just sat there with his hand down his pants, just lounging. But it's stuff like that when you see and you smile because it makes you happy. To me, that's what cosplay is about, man. That's the stuff that I love.
I gotta check that out. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Dude, just look up Al Bundy C2E2. Oh my god.
That's because that's a deep cut that nobody would think of. That's really good. I like that.
There's another at Dragon Con. There was a girl who she did I Love Lucy, but it was the episode of I Love Lucy. It was a very famous episode where she was working at a bonbon factory.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
Dude, and so what she did was she made like a little conveyor belt to sit in front of her. And in front of the conveyor belt, she had a little bonbon sitting in front of her. And, you know, she had her little like chef hat on, and she's just had chocolate all over her face, and she's just kind of...
That is awesome.
It's simple stuff like that, but it's stuff that's recognizable, stuff that just makes you, you know, remember your childhood or remember something special. And it just makes you smile. And that's
the best. That's the best right there. Man, I am honored that you came through to hang with me and on the power chat right now. I gotta have you on again because this type of stuff, like especially going back to like these shows and stuff, we got to talk more. Nostalgia stuff. For sure. Because that's right there. That's in my alley. Movies, all that. That's my thing. We could talk for hours about that stuff. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining my show, being a part of this. It's just, you're a great person. You're a great cosplayer. You're just great human being all around. I appreciate you. I appreciate it.
I know. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for, as soon as you said, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah. Yeah, seriously, man. You let me know when I'm coming back.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my God. Man, this is great. Thank you so much, man. To everybody, you want to let everybody know before we go where they can find you? Because I'm going to put you a link down below and everything. But, yeah, you let the people know.
So, KNIGHTMAGE on Facebook and on Twitter. KNIGHTMAGE1 on Instagram. Or Michael KNIGHTMAGE Wilson just on regular Facebook. Like, everything is public, so send me a friend request or follow me. There you
go. All right. Well, you heard it here first, guys. The man himself, the great one, KNIGHTMAGE cosplay, Michael KNIGHTMAGE Wilson in the house. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Whenever you watch it, either on Instagram or YouTube or later on Instagram later. But thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, KNIGHTMAGE, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure. Thank you. This is your boy Aqua. Right. This is Power Chat. And we good. We out, baby. We good. Thanks, y'all. See you later.
See you guys.